Ni hao, my name is Luis Chiu. Let me share with you the story of Asian Bay, the best authentic Chinese restaurant in Mexico. My family has been in the restaurant business since 1946 as the first Chinese restaurant of Chinatown. My parents taught me about the restaurant business and cooking. I studied gastronomy in Mexico and in China. And after graduating in 2011, we decided to open Asian Bay and serve traditional Chinese dishes, not American Chinese food as other restaurants have been doing. Asian Bay is in the heart of La Condesa, a restaurant and entertainment venue in Mexico City. The restaurant has been a huge hit because we serve original Chinese dishes to the Mexican market, with a beautiful environment, good service, and clean spaces. Asian Bay, as most traditional Chinese restaurants, focuses only on Chinese customers. After 5 years of service, we wanted to experience growth and open a small branch called Buns and Dumplings in a high-end gastronomy market at San Angel. However, we couldn't experience more growth due to complex operation and lack of structure in both business models. So, I started to discuss with my family and friends about what I needed to do, not to only grow substantially, but also to make my family proud. So, I began to think about the strategy. First, what does Asian Bay represent today? 2. Where do I want Asian Bay to go? 3. How am I going to get there? Asian Bay is very successful and most of the heavy traffic time is on weekends during lunchtime. On weekdays, traffic is constant and there is a big opportunity to grow. Today, my business model is very egocentric and everything is done in-house. I had to manage my books, marketing, operations, and service. As a result, I never had time to structure this restaurant business and to develop other business models. The path that I want my business to take involves structuring the Asian Bay Group, growing with business models such as buns and dumplings to create high quality goods and continuously improve my products in order to ensure satisfaction of the customers. All this in hopes to excite my customers through the unique design of my restaurants and the experience of eating on them. With the knowledge acquired from IPADE and the help of my teammates, I wanted to discover ideas of how I can structure my business model to grow the business and to be able to orchestrate partnerships that will reduce the burden of my weaknesses so I can focus on strengthening my core competencies to transform and grow in order to accomplish my goal for the Asian Bay Group.
We need to develop a strategy first. For that, it is important to understand the context and know the environment that surrounds the restaurant, and for this, we will analyze the sources of discontinuity that are macroeconomics, microeconomics, regulations, and technology. Starting with the microeconomics on a national level, the current President López Obrador's political strategy has affected all businesses throughout the country, causing uncertainty in the market and therefore creating a direct impact on people's consumption patterns. We want Asian Bay Group to produce high-quality food and service and to be recognized as a premium brand. The market for traditional premium Chinese food is very specific. Therefore, applying the wrong strategy would make us lose our competitive advantage. In order to maintain high-quality products, many ingredients are imported from China and the US. However, after the problems raised by the negotiations between the US and Chinese government, the Chinese ingredients might increase in price, which also might affect the final prices for the consumer or the variety of the offer. Additionally, from the micro perspective, the demographics and location are crucial factors for the Asian Bay Group to succeed because this business model needs to be surrounded by a certain type of community and ecosystem. Therefore, Asian Bay has a privileged location in La Condesa, which is considered a restaurant hub in Mexico City, placing it closer to the international customers with medium-high income. Another key source of discontinuity is government regulations, which could hurt the business tremendously. With the new construction regulations in Mexico City and the numerous sanitation laws, there are lots of restrictions on opening new businesses. Lastly, the rise of technological advances and processes can affect the business as well. There are constant improvements in cooking machines and techniques that can speed up or enhance our products. Also, there are new ways to data mine customer information, and this might allow us to provide customers with new ways to interact with the business. A good example is the development of new technological platforms to deliver foods such as Rappi and Uber Eats. After establishing the sources of discontinuity for Asian Bay, the next step is to see how we can connect and identify principles that will guide the strategy of the Asian Bay Group, establishing an asset-light approach, using sophisticated nodes, continuous orchestration, and conducting business in a transparent manner. These fundamental principles will help us to coordinate a new network design. Traditional restaurant businesses require a heavy investment in physical assets where all the commercial activities are carried out, as well as the operation and services. It is a big challenge to improve the scope of the business, but thanks to the technology and new delivery apps, growing the business in an asset-light way is possible. For example, creating a new menu for Rappi or Uber Eats to reach a new segment of customers that normally would not go to the restaurant. Delivery apps are important complement nodes that can add a lot of value to Asian Bay. These apps will help grow the revenues without doing a high investment on physical assets. The value chain of the restaurants is formed by many sophisticated nodes. From the supplier's perspective, restaurants usually obtained their goods from the market, but for the Chinese kitchen of Asian Bay, the ingredients are more difficult to obtain. Therefore, it might require orchestrating the suppliers and aligning the quality of the products for the needs of the restaurant. For instance, one of the signature dishes of Asian Bay is a Beijing duck, and the duck is imported from Canada or USA. Mexico is also a duck producer, but the quality of the skin, meat and fat are not enough to meet the standards. Asian Bay has a possibility to contact and orchestrate the Mexican duck suppliers and teach them the requirements to meet the standard, thus leveraging local producers and reducing transportation costs and logistics. As for substitutes, those are the restaurants that offer different kinds of food. Asian Bay has applied orchestration with some of these restaurants that share the same core values of not competing with low price, but by offering high-quality products, services, and experiences. One example is Fonda Mayora, managed by Chef Eric Gonzalez, where Chiu has participated in several food festivals as the lobster dinner. Okay, so here we are with Chef Daniel Gonzalez from La Fonda Mayor and Chef Chiu from Asian Bay, and they are going to tell us how they work together to orchestrate the markets.
So here we are with Eric Daniel. We have been friends for a long time ago. So even though we are in Condesa and people might see that we are competitors or substitutes, we are very, very close friends. We have made a very big alliances, and we have been participating together in many festivals. One of these festivals, it was the one of Blanco, if you remember. And we went to Cancun, that there is a very beautiful place. They have these lobsters, and they have like this fishing in a sustainable way. So Eric Bambam, we call him Bambam because he's very tough. So he invited me to go to this place and get to know all the ecosystem and all the suppliers in order to align them to our needs as restaurants. So we did a festival where Eric is going to explain you what are the things that we did.
Okay.
Well, first we are friends. We study in the same school. So many people think that you finish the career, you have the competition that are the other guys that you study, we don't think like that because we start to make audiences like the dinner that Luis commented. We made this because we like to learn about the fishermen, how to catch the lobsters, and how they live, and make all the process to maintain this the Banco Chichorro. Is a place.
It's a bank of lobsters.
Yeah, but
Asian-based customers are very sophisticated and curious. Many of them have been asking for authentic Chinese cooking classes, where there is a great opportunity to align their interests and emotions. Therefore, if Asian Bay uses the information of the customer to create a closer relationship with them, the restaurant can learn important insights and unsolved pain points, transforming the value proposition of Asian Bay into a Chinese cultural center. Being transparent among the nodes is a task difficult to achieve in an industry that seems very rigid in Mexico. However, Asian Bay has an opportunity here to change that by creating alliances and become an orchestrator instead of just a part of the chain. Asian Bay has a possibility to become a Chinese culture powerhouse first in Mexico City and then the country, because it doesn't only serve food but is a part of China and Mexico. Asian Bay up until now is trying to become allocentric by creating alliances with sophisticated partners like Uber and Rappi that help it extend its reach. But not only that. Through increasing the scope from only food and beverage industry to becoming a Chinese cultural center, it will be easier to become asset light because Asian Bay can leverage its relationships with other cultural venues and organizations like universities, the Chinese embassy, festivals that focus on Eastern cultures. Asian Bay will focus on delivering experiences of true high-quality Chinese cuisine and tradition. After connecting the principles, we need to put in motion the strategy and deploy key elements to ensure success. Asian Bay Group must build a platform business design, a unique and enabler process and adds value for both the customer and the restaurant, making the business model difficult to be copied and easy to understand for the customer. Finally, create a plug-and-play business in order to simplify the expansion. To attack all the opportunities that have been detected, the creation of a central kitchen to distribute the products and quality control are essential to build a platform design. The restaurant can take advantage of the current facilities and open satellite businesses that will acquire semi-finished goods that will be produced in Asian Bay. By standardizing traditional recipes and by keeping this specialized labor in the central kitchen, the group can orchestrate high-quality products to the satellite restaurants. This will help them to share the right emotions and high value to the customers. Part of the experience of the customer will be strengthened with the orchestration with suppliers and substitutes. In order to enable processes with the nodes, the restaurant will invite them to share feedback on our operations and processes. If Asian Bay Group applies the archetypes of orchestration, high value, and emotions into the design of its strategy, it will be able to ensure the actual position, a constant and controlled growth with a high differentiator to one's competitors. As a result, the value proposition for the customer will be enriched by the Chinese heritage, improving the quality of current services and products which will communicate strong emotions linking the customers with the restaurant group, as well as increasing financial benefits for the owners and stakeholders for further generations.